session that we have. So thank you very much to all of you for joining us. And at this point, I'll hand it over to Terefe.
Thank you, Doris. I just want to make sure if everybody can hear me. Can you put up your hand if you can hear me from the participants? Perfect. I see 2 hands, 3. Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So as Doris mentioned, my name is Terefe Goro. I am from Grand Challenges, Canada. I will be going over these requests for expression of interest for sustainable diagnostic containment laboratories. At the end, while I'm presenting, you can put your questions in the chat, and at the end, we'll open up the floor for a live Q&A, and we can discuss then. In the meantime, this shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. We have all the information necessary for you to apply on our website. If you follow the link, you should be able to see the request for expression of interest, link to the intake software, and all of that. And if you've reviewed that, you probably would find this presentation very familiar. Okay, with that being said, I will directly proceed. So I'll briefly go over Grand Challenges Canada as an organization, the partnership phases of the Grand Challenges, and also discuss Diagnostic Containment Laboratories, the problem that this Grand Challenge is set out to solve, what we're looking for with requests for expression of interest, and also discuss eligibility criteria and the review process, and share some important timelines and some tips, and also direct to documents that are available on the website, and eventually open the floor for a Q&A session. So Grand Challenges Canada is an organization based in Canada, Toronto, Ontario. It's an innovation platform that seeds and the transition to scale bold scientific, social, and business innovations to drive sustainable impact at scale. We are an innovation platform for impact, and funded mainly by Government of Canada and other governments and philanthropic partners. So far, GCC have supported over 1,400 innovations in 98 countries. And we estimate that these innovations have potential to save up to 1.78 million lives and improve 64 million lives globally by 2030. This Grand Challenge is building on decades-long work of partner organizations such as Global Affairs Canada, World Organization for Animal Health, UK International Biosecurity Program, WHO, and Chatham House. This organization has been working together in order to solve a problem of sustainability of diagnostic containment laboratories in low and middle income countries. They've identified many independent factors that challenge sustainability of laboratories, especially in low and middle income countries. While looking for a solution, they identified that to target these problems, multi-player, multi-sectoral kind of work is needed. And so it was proposed to launch a Grand Challenge approach to look for innovation that can potentially solve issue of sustainability. So this Grand Challenge, so Grand Challenge Canada comes in to design this sort of Grand Challenge, building on existing work of these partners and international consultation, bringing perspective from global security, human health, and animal health in context of this challenge. So when we say diagnostic containment laboratories, we are talking about facilities that control and contain infectious materials or pathogens to prevent exposure of personal and release to the environment. Usually, these kind of facilities conduct routine disease surveillance, early detection and characterization of disease events, support critical applied research to assist in detection, risk management, and prevention and control of infectious diseases. They also handle and store potentially harmful pathogens. This recent pandemic highlighted the focus on the pandemic preparedness and the role of containment and diagnostic capabilities to detect and monitor outbreaks more effectively. So I was talking about the problem this grand challenge is set out to solve. From the work of our partners, there are several elements of conventional laboratories that makes conventional laboratories unsustainable in low and middle income countries. For instance, the physical laboratory design that has not been adapted to local context with significant challenge, which brings significant challenge in operation and maintenance of laboratory equipment and other very expensive to run areas. For instance, there is if in conventional laboratories, there is high demand of expensive or usually unreliable or interrupted energy source in low and middle income countries. And then there is inadequate access control for biosecurity or lack of control, resulting in biosecurity and biosafety risk, and inability to dispose hazardous waste safely, and poorly maintained or poorly functioning equipment. That includes unavailability of parts and reagents or manpower to maintain and equip these expensive equipment, and inability to safely and securely store biological materials, for instance, lack of sustainable cold storage, or unavailability of clean water, clean air for lab operations. These not exclusively the only problems, but these are one of the areas that contribute to unsustainability of diagnostic containment laboratories. Therefore, this grand challenge is seeking bold ideas to reimagine physical laboratory in order to reduce the ongoing operational and maintenance cost, to allow sustainable presence of safe and secure handling of high consequence pathogens. In another word, the grand challenge is set out to looking for innovations that are that can reimagine physical laboratory in order to reduce the cost, maintenance cost, or operational cost in the context of the problem I just described, while also having the ability to handling high consequence pathogens. Grand Challenge Canada wishes to identify innovations in 3 potential areas. 1, lab end-to-end concept and design. That includes innovation that reduce reliance and demand on resource-intensive components. For example, high energy needs, innovation that can solve those areas. Clean water, usually in low middle-income countries, the need for clean water for lab work is very, very high. So innovation that can tackle that. Clean air, also innovation around waste disposal or biobanking or cold storage. 2, laboratory operation that delivers functions required for high consequence pathogen to be handled safely and securely, bridging the need for high intensity operation in crisis times with business as usual operation in standard operating conditions. That means the lab could potentially deliver handle the high consequence pathogens in time of need, but could potentially also handle other operations in order to sustain its financial generate revenue to sustain itself, or business models for ownership and utility of laboratory functions sustained by local leadership. So this is the main key. If innovation enables a lab to be sustained by local leadership, that makes it sustainable. So this is the 3 area of focus. What this request for expression of interest is not looking for is laboratory personnel training, because this is addressed by other programs that run by our partners, or a specific diagnostic equipment or assay for specific pathogens. As I described the problem of this in the problem section, assay-specific innovations wouldn't possibly address the area of focus. However, if your innovation could potentially result in enabling the lab to for example, reducing the need for high containment facility, even on assay area, we want to hear from you. So don't be discouraged to submit your expression of interest, but usually the area of focus for a specific assay is not in the scope for this request for expression of interest. So we will not also consider expression of interest detailing projects that focus strictly on capacity building or advocacy, and that do not involve testing of innovative proof of concept. You can refer to section 2.7 of request for expression of interest for additional information about the scope of the call. Okay, I keep saying potential grant challenges. So why this grant challenge is divided into two phases. Phase one, which we are currently in, involves the feasibility study phase, in which we get the innovative ideas from you, the innovators, and this phase is seeking to determine the feasibility, the scope, and parameters of potential grant challenge. Using this information, the full grant challenge will be designed and be determined in a later date if the full grant challenge will be launched. We call it request for expression of interest, not request for a proposal, because the RFEI is not immediately considered for funding. However, I will discuss it in a later stage. Your idea will be reviewed and shortlisted to be potentially invited for the second phase. So in phase one, we have feasibility study phase, and looking for potentially untapped innovative solutions in the area of and sustainability of the area of focus. The steps involved is launching a request for expression of interest, which is already in progress, review and analysis of eligible expression of interest. So the expression of interest goes through the review process, which I will be discussing soon. Funder discussion on impact, design and launch of grant challenge. So the funders of these grant challenges will be discussing about the impact, design and launch of grant challenge based on information collected from request for expression of interest. And then you will get your feedback that could potentially help you if you are considered for invitation for full grant challenge, and then you potential invitation for full proposal in potential phase 2. So the submitted expression of interest will not immediately be considered for funding. However, feedbacks are available to innovators through the review process. You get the feedback from the reviewers that can potentially be incorporated in potential phase 2 of grant challenge, where the top ranked applicant may be invited to submit full proposal. What is eligibility criteria? Again, this is described in detail on the request of expression of interest document. Applicant entity. The entity eligible under this RFEI include social enterprises and other legally recognized organizations, such as non-governmental organizations, non-profit, for-profit, and limited liability companies, research and academic institutions, and any other appropriately registered legal entities. But this doesn't include individuals, sole proprietorships, the organizations that are owned by individuals, unincorporated trusts and partnerships, government organizations, United Nations and country offices. There is a lot of questions that we get from innovators that government institution organizations usually do not include government-funded organizations such as universities and laboratories like regional labs. Those are still eligible. The government organizations usually involves or government administrative organizations. So this is, you can also refer to the section eligibility criteria, section 3.3. Other criteria is project lead. The project leads listed on application must be affiliated with applicant organizations. So, and one project lead can only be listed on one application. However, one organization can submit multiple applications under different project lead. And application must include all required information, address all questions, and must be submitted in either in English or French. Grand Challenge Canada particularly encourage expression of interest from innovators from locally led organizations based in LMICs. That simply means organizations that are based in low middle income countries. You can find list of low middle income countries in a request for expression of interest document according to World Bank classification. Innovators with lived experience of the context. If the organization have lived experience, have conducted significant work in low middle income countries, that's considered lived experience. Innovators with meaningful partnership with local partners. If there is a meaningful partnership with a local organization based in LMIC, and innovators who are able to successfully demonstrate a plan to meaningfully engage local stakeholders in their target implementation country. These are for innovators who are based in high-income countries, but that can successfully demonstrate a plan to meaningfully engage local innovators that are based in LMIC. Review process. All expression of interest submitted in response to this RFI will undergo multi-step review process. This review is designed to produce analysis of landscape of potential innovative solutions to the problem of sustainable diagnostic containment laboratories, and identification of the most promising innovations based on criteria outlined in RFIE, and feedback on submitted expression of interest designed to improve quality of innovators' potential proposals submitted for funding. So this is very useful for innovators who are shortlisted, who can use the review feedback to enhance their application for phase 2. So the outcome of this review process will inform decision about whether and how to implement a fully funded grant challenge for sustainable diagnostic containment laboratories in phase 2. So what does the review process look like? It consists of 3 stages: eligibility criteria, innovation screen, and external peer review. The eligibility criteria is preliminary evaluation of the innovation that usually against the eligibility criteria I just described, whether that is it eligible or not. For example, if the project lead is not listed on 2 applications, that makes it ineligible. Innovation screen is relevance and innovativeness. Is the proposed solution relevant to the call, and is it innovative enough? External peer review. 3 external reviewers are external to Grand Challenge Canada, will review the applications and give their feedback. So all the review process is detailed in section 3.3 to 3.5 of RFI document. Important timeline. So April 12 is a deadline to register for FLAX. FLAX is the software you can use to submit your request for expression of interest. The reason it is a week before is actual deadline is your account needs to go through a review and the IT department have to respond to create your account. So it will need time. So please register by April 12 if you are thinking to submit your application. April 19 is submission deadline, and after that date, you can submit. All applications should be submitted through Flex. You can submit through email. So you need the account to be created before April 12. So once the application is closed, then all application will go through the review process I just described. And then in fall, around summer or fall, you will get your feedback from the review, and then phase 2 decision will be made whether the phase 2 full grant challenge will go ahead or not. And if it is, then potential phase 2 will be launched, and top ranked applicants will be potentially invited to submit their full proposal. Tips: when you are drafting your expression of interest, please read each question carefully and address part of each question. Some question might have multiple components, and then also be mindful of character limits. So those character limits includes space as well. So it's always advisable not to be overly descriptive unless it's when you are conveying important messages, and concise answers are always the best. Where possible, reference existing evidence-based supporting your proposed innovation. If you are building on research that has already been conducted, please reference it. Respond in narrative format than bullet points. We also keep in mind that quality of your English or French language will not be a factor in evaluating the expression of interest unless it affects clarity of the information. So if you go on this Grand Challenges Canada website, you will see documents. One, request for expression of interest in English or in French. That document contains all important information that is required for you to submit your application. And then there is another document, frequently asked question in English or French. That is questions that are asked in the webinar, and that you can refer to. And then application questions also in English and French. This is also the questions you are going to respond to in Flux. Just for your reference, before you actually create your account, you can see what kind of questions you're going to respond to. So these are also helpful for you to plan your applications. Okay, that's about it. I think now we can open up the floor for question and answer. Let's see.
Thank you very much, Tarifa, for that presentation. And yes, we do have a few questions. There's one on the chat box from Idrissa. His question he's asking is based on affiliation. He's willing to submit an expression of interest for this RFI. And his affiliation currently is with Shandong University, which is part of CDC China. However, he's establishing an organization as a startup school, and he wants to know whether he should write a proposal through the university or through his new organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so here is the thing. You can, based on, okay, I have a follow-up question.
Yes, the follow-up question.
So for the first question, you are affiliated with Shandong University, that's CDC China, but you are establishing an organization startup school that is also based in China, I believe. So I would say you could use either, but the reason we're asking your organization, if you don't have no lived experience in you know, I don't know if China is the one of low middle income countries, but check the list, and if you have to put your implementation country first of all, and if you don't have a lived experience, or your organization is not based in low middle income countries, you have to have a plan to partner with organization based in low middle income country. Either organization can be, if it is listed, there is a list of organization in if it is not government or other organizations like UN, you can apply, but you have to have a plan to partner with organization that is based in low middle income country. So I see your country of implementation, Sierra Leone. So how do you implement your innovations in Sierra Leone if both organizations are based in China? So this doesn't disqualify you from applying, but you have to have a plan. There is a question that say, please describe your execution plan. In that, you can describe your plan to implement your plan to partner with organization based in Sierra Leone. Then you're okay to apply.
Okay. At this point, I'd allow, there are a few more questions that have come in. We have Idrissa still asking a few questions. If you can unmute yourself, and then we'll unmute you. And
yeah,
then
that would be better.
yeah.
Please unmute yourself and ask live, so that. So in the meantime, I will respond to. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, Moyos, or I don't. Apologies. Is it possible to change the project lead after registering on the Flagsport? I registered for my organization and the account has been approved, credit, but I'm not going to be the project lead on this. Yes, it's possible. I don't know the technicality of it though. Can you send an email to sdl@grandchallenges.ca with your name, so we can refer you to our IT, or on the RFEI, there is a technical support email that you can email to, and they will help you with this. It's possible to change if you didn't submit it yet, but you'd have to reach out to our IT. We'll help you with that.
Okay. I see there's another question by Evelyn. Idrissa, are you able to talk?
I don't know if they are able to unmute themselves. Are they allowed? Okay, I'll just go
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Hello? Yeah, I'm Idrissa from China. I'm Australian. So the first question has been answered, so I only need answer for the second question, because I'm on the application process, so I don't have much to ask for now. But there are these critical questions I just want to clarify before proceeding for the expression of interest. So
Okay.
if you can see the second question, please let me just get the answer for that.
Okay. So your second question is, applicants responding to this RFI, should they ensure that they have legal capacity to enter into a contract with Grand Challenges Canada? What does this mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this means that, for example, the sole proprietorship, organizations that are owned by individuals usually cannot enter into legal contract with the GCC, because one, the liability in a way of like some organization's policy, the GCC's policy, that they can't enter into legal contract with they have to be incorporate corporations. Other legal matters, like the details why they can't enter, I have to refer to our legal team and probably add this question to our FAQ. But we've listed organizations that cannot enter, that cannot be considered for as eligible organizations for this matter. So what I can do is I will take these questions and add it to our frequently asked document and get you more detailed response why they cannot enter from legal perspective. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Next we have Evelyn. I believe you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, thank you for nice presentation. I have two questions. One I've written on the chat. I work for Cambridge as a laboratory in the laboratory. So I was asking if I'm putting forward my proposal, do I have to involve my peers and other directorate and board, or I can do it on a personal level? And then the second question, are you going to fund only the specific laboratories, or it cuts across because different lab has different, do different work or different departments, or it's going to cut across? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So a person, we have a signing authority on that. If you read see the application form, there should be a signing authority from the organization. So yes, you would have to have from the person who is entitled to do so. So you would have to get that signature from your organization. And as a project lead, also, you would have to, you're representing your organization when you're submitting. So yes, you would have to get that signature from an entitled person to submit. For your second question, you said that, so this is innovation. This is not funding, directly funding. So this stage is expression of interest. So your expression of interest is coming up with innovative idea to the problem that we described. When you are taking, if you are invited for the stage 2 and get funding to scale, is to work on your innovation, it can be applicable to any lab. Actually, this is not directly funding one lab or another. The innovative idea, for example, if it is the innovation that can enable lab to cut their electricity cost, that innovative idea is can be applicable for all labs. So think of it as not funding for a specific lab, instead idea that can be applicable to context of low and middle income country, but for all labs. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Next we have Fitsum.
Yes, you can unmute yourself, Fitsum.
Should we address all 3 focus areas during submission of expression of interest? The simple answer is no. You can submit innovation on any of the areas. For example, business model. If you have an idea how to improve lab business model to increase its revenue, you can do that. Or you can do, if you have a new lab design that will enhance, improve the current process, you can do that. So you don't have to address all the 3 areas. Your innovation could potentially address all 3 areas, but it can also be only about waste, or it could be about power, it could be about physical design, or any of that. When you open your account, you can select one or more or other, even outside of these focus areas. If you think your idea is relevant, you can still submit. Okay.
We have John Ding.
Yes, hello there. I
Hello.
hope I am audible enough. You
Yes,
could
you
hear
are.
me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, this is the first time to attend this type of meeting with Grand Challenge Canada. And there, as I highlighted from South Sudan, we still, as a new country, we still have a lot of challenges ranging from, skills workers in our lab, the skill level is a bit low, and the infrastructure in the rural areas. And just asking, is it possible to correlate the two, and are we really eligible to try our best as a new Biosafety and Biosecurity Association of South Sudan as non-for-profit organization, or whether should we scale down to just one part instead of the physical infrastructure and the training for the lab workforce? Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I would say look at the organization, your organization's legal corporate incorporation. Do you meet the criteria listed in request for expression of interest? What type of entities that your organization is? If yes, you can apply. You're eligible. And for your question, is South Sudan eligible on a list of countries being considered under this program? Is a yes. So South Sudan is part of a lower middle income country. You can refer to that list it's a World Bank list. So yes, you can, but refer to what type of organization is your association. I would say, I think this is my guess is you are eligible to apply, but again, this is expression of interest, so it's not directly for funding, but you have to bring your innovative ideas when you're applying. So please look at your organization's legal incorporation title, so then against our criteria, and you should be eligible.
Right.
Okay, this one is short, so I can read. Actually, I'm afraid. Okay, does research and government institution can apply for this call? What is maximum number of partners? Okay, so research government institution. This is a little. So we've included what government institution means in our frequently asked questions. So unless your organization is administratively government, usually universities and research institutions are considered government institutions, government-funded institutions, but administratively they are independent. So such organizations are eligible. And if you are a research organization funded by government, public money, but independent administration, it is eligible. So I would say yes, but not administrative government offices, maybe like Minister of Health kind of type. What is the maximum number of partners? We don't really have a number, but as long as the partners are helping your application to if you are cooperating with engineering and microbiologists and all different kind of organizations, and to bring your innovation to enhance your innovation, then be it. So we don't have really maximum number of partners that you can partner with.
Okay, thank you for that, Terefe. At this point, if anyone also, we've exhausted the question on the chat box. If anyone has a question, please raise your hand up and then we'll allow you to talk and ask your question. So first off, I can see Evelyn again.
Evelyn.
Yes, it's not really a question as such, but I would like maybe to send us what you've presented to us today, so that as we are writing our proposal, we can be referring to those slides, if you don't mind. Thank you.
The link, do you have the link? How many people can access the link, Grand Challenges website?
Maybe I can check through my mail, but I've not seen the link, but I can check through my mail.
Okay. I can share
on the chat box.
Yeah, on the chat box. If you go follow this link, you will get all the important information you need to create your account. Chat Q&A. Okay. Okay. I don't know if this is visible to everybody. If not, the admin, please, would you share it with the attendants, this link? Okay, next person.
We have Annie Fried again. You can
Annie
unmute.
Fried, yeah.
Sorry, no. The first question, it was enough. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please follow this link. You will see the request for expression of interest document. That document contains all information, including what I've discussed today. And then you will see another document called frequently asked questions. What we can do is, if we get, I believe we can extract these questions, and we can add some of it into the FAQ document so that we will give you elaborate answer in addition to what I gave today. Also, you can find the application document. So when you prepare your applications, even before opening Flux, you can just see what kind of question you are going to respond to, and then prepare accordingly. So you get all the resources from this link. And I advise again, open your account, Flux account, before April 12th. You still have a week to go back and finish your submission, which is April 19. But the Flux account creation deadline is April 12th.
Okay, thank you for that. Timelines, terrific. So participants, is there any other question? I cannot see any hand up.
Looks like there is no more.
I believe we've exhausted the question, and we appreciate that you've created time to join us for this webinar today. So we'll be engaging once again in the near future. Oh, we have two. On the chat box, we have Simpiwe. Sorry.
Good day. Okay. Okay, from Central Vet Laboratory, Stony, experiencing network issue. I can see presentation and there is no audio. Please send me the presentation via email. So yeah, Doris will share this recording with you, so you can review it at the later date.
Okay.
Should applicant be independently?
We have Amos. He can unmute. Amos Mbukwa.
Okay, I can read it. Should applicant be able to independently implement the innovative new ideas, or can they support? So implementation. So this stage.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Am I audible? Okay, great. Yeah, I wasn't able to unmute previously. So my question was, I know the emphasis is on innovative new ideas. So my question was, can you propose things that you may not be fully able to implement? And is there a possibility of obtaining support to do so? In other words, being able to identify additional partners or additional potential people who can bring in the required support? Because I think that the answer to that question would influence the range of ideas that would be put forward. If we are limited by our current capacity, or can we think outside the box, literally, and with the possibility of getting support to be able to implement those novel ideas? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I get the point. So the ideas you propose should be relevant, one, and should be innovative, and it should be supported by evidence, and when invited, if that idea is shortlisted and you're invited to submit your full proposal, then you have to detail your actual implementation plan. Now, can I solicit more support after I submit these ideas? It's possible, but keep in mind those ideas have to be evidence-based, and either 3 areas innovative toolkit on if you refer to the RFEI, based on business, scientific and technology, business and social. So look at this in this context, and also you should have a plan, clear plan for implementation, even if that requires partnering with more organizations or soliciting more support. That should be clearly detailed. Then in that case, I don't see any problem.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Terefe. We have Peter. Peter, are you able to unmute yourself?
So he's asking if he can have a link to presentation via email. I think Doris can share the recording. Probably, I don't think the presentation itself. This material, you can have all the presentation with voiceover through recording.
Yes, like I indicated, when you registered, we have your emails. We'll be sharing this recording with you shortly. So,
when are we required to ask questions? I don't understand this.
Peter?
You can ask now. Okay. Okay, any other question?
Peter? Your mic is unmuted, but I can't hear you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate your time, and was looking forward to your innovative ideas.
Okay, we have one more. Francois, you can unmute.
Francois, we can't hear you. Go ahead, and you're still muted. You are still muted. Can you put your question in the chat?
Are you getting me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Francois. I'm from Rwanda, and I would like to ask you if this project can be done in two countries.
Okay, so implementation country.
That's my question.
Yes.
Two countries. If it can be done in two or more countries, not one country.
Yeah.
If it can be done in in different countries at the same time.
Okay.
Like, for example, if two people from two countries can apply together.
Yes, they can.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other question? I don't want to lock anyone out. You can put your hand up, or we have 5 minutes remaining. Okay, I believe everyone is satisfied with the webinar. We appreciate the participants for making time to join us today. We're looking forward to receiving your exciting innovations around sustainable diagnostic containment laboratories. And in case of anything, as Terefe has indicated, we have the link that you can get in touch with us with our emails and the various details of FAQ and more about what the call is entailing. Thank you very much for the excitement and also for joining us today. So wish you a good day and all the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.